So we have a week off. You want to drive up to the lake or something?
I just want to hang around the house and be lazy. Drink a couple hundred cups of coffee. Maybe watch the Burbs.
Again?
And I want to read the paper. I want to see what's funny in the old comics section. And I guess I should get my sketchbook. And probably some art supplies. And I got to work on our tribute for the Burbs.
Another one?
Yeah, but this one's for the Gallery 1988 Burbs show.
Oh yeah, the whole show's Burbs themed.
Yeah, so here's the concept. It's 1989. You live in Hinkley Hills, in a cul-de-sac. You have a week off work, and you just want to sit around and do nothing. But even the funny pages in the newspaper reflect the strange goings-on of your loony neighbors.
Oh boy.
So, using the visual language of classic Sunday newspaper comics and the plot of the movie, we're creating a fun, possibly unsettling newspaper called the Hinkley Hills Gazette that kind of tells the story of the Burbs.
We had a good time matching up scenes from the movie with different comic strips we thought would best tell the story.
Right. So this scene with Bonnie Rumsfeld, as played by Wendy Shaw, this was custom made for the Blondie comic strip.
Perfect fit.
Yeah.
Blonde bombshell wife, quirky oddball husband.
Yeah, as played by Bruce Dern. And the scene has the same sort of rhythm that a classic 3-panel gag would have.
Right. So aside from some initial pencil sketches, you did this all digitally.
Yeah, and that made recreating the logos a lot easier. Plus, the internet's right there, so I could research a bunch of old 80s era comics pages,
Right.
see what strips were most prevalent, which ones would fit the project best. And I kind of tried to match the visuals of the time period based on old scans of newspapers of that time.
Nice.
Probably the most memorable scene in the movie is when Ray, played by Tom Hanks, and Art, played by Rick Dukeman, find a human thigh bone in Ray's backyard.
Yeah.
These two are neighbors, they're friends, they hang out all the time, they discuss life. I couldn't think of a better pair of comic strip counterparts to represent this important scene than Charlie Brown and Linus.
Right.
Those guys were solid, reliable laughs on every comics page in the 80s.
And the characters are a good match with Ray and Art.
Yeah.
Plus, the bone was dug up by Ray's dog, and the Peanuts have a dog already built into the comic.
Yes, dug up by Ray's dog, Vince.
Yeah.
You know how infrequently I get to slap my own name into a piece of art?
So, in an effort to match up the movie scenes with their comic strip counterparts, with Ray and Carol Peterson, played by Carrie Fisher, we were looking for a comic centered around a married couple. And there were a bunch of comics about married couples in the 80s funny pages.
Yeah.
So we had a lot to choose from.
Yeah, but the one that felt right was High and Lois. In the Burbs, Ray and Carol are just a normal couple.
Yeah.
They don't bicker all the time like the Lockhorns or in The Born Loser.
Right.
They're not Vikings like Hagar the Horrible and Helga. So High and Lois made the most sense. For the text in the word balloons, I tried to stick as closely to the Burbs screenplay as I could. The movie has an hour and a half to tell its story on screen. We had 3 to 5 panels.
And I heard there was a bunch of improv that made it into the final cut as well.
Yeah, that's what I heard. So there's a lot of words. So while I stuck to the script as much as I could, I did have to gently edit it so that it would all fit on the page.
Right.
So apologies to the screenwriter. My plan was to lay out the strips on the page in the order the scenes took place in the movie. So as you read down the page, you're welcome to Hinkley Hills, and then you see the blurbs about Ray's plan to sit around the house and be lazy.
Yeah.
Then you move to that awkward encounter with Ricky Butler, and then onto the discovery of the femur.
Right.
And then finally, the chaotic aftermath with the police threatening to charge Ray Peterson for kidnapping a dog.
Not the lazy vacation Ray was picturing.
Not at all. So while the show is running, everybody can go to the Gallery1988 website and see all of the amazing Burbs art in this exhibit.
And we'll put the link in the info.
Yeah, but be advised that our print sold out immediately.
Yes.
Now, we're working on maybe getting a few more prints out there to Gallery1988, maybe having some in our shop eventually. We're still not sure how it's going to work out. But while the show is running, check with the gallery if you're interested.
This looks like I was down in the basement and found a box of old newspapers from the 80s just rotting away near the furnace.
Yeah, and that was the goal, to make you feel like you were back in the 80s and experiencing that weird week on the Mayfield Place cul-de-sac. but listen, you shouldn't go rooting around down there. A man's furnace is his own business.
You're right.
Don't make me place you under citizen's arrest.